Hi, it's Paul Basil, GreatDad.com, and I am again doing one of my series in really simple recipes that you can have. You can make things that you'll keep in the house and will help you make more interesting meals all week long. There's a whole series of things that we make all the time. While I'm watching a football game, I'll make some tomato sauce. In this case, we're going to make some pesto, and these are things that are just always in our kitchen. So pesto comes from Genoa. It's an old Genovese tradition. It's very, very, very simple. All it is a collection of 4 or 5 ingredients: garlic, olive oil, some hard cheese, some basil, some salt, and some basil. So that's about it. And what I love about it is that it's one of these things that after you've done it a couple times, unless you just forget an item, you can do it really easily without a lot of thought. And it's all, as the French say, au pif. You just kind of throw in whatever quantities you feel like that work, and you're good to go. It's not like baking where if you miss, by a half a cup or a teaspoon or whatever, you're going to get something completely different. And if you know that you don't like as much garlic as somebody else, you can skip the garlic. In some parts of Italy, actually, they don't use garlic at all. You can throw in some other things like sometimes we put in lemon zest as well. That gives a little extra zing, a little extra flavor. That is an optional ingredient, but that you can throw in as well. You can put extra salt in. Some people like a little more salt with a little bit more pop. You can also change out the nuts. You can use walnuts. You can use the classic pine nuts. In this case, we're going to use actually hazelnuts because our son Aiden is allergic to tree nuts, so walnuts and pine nuts are out for him. So let's just start really easily. Really from the beginning here I find that the easiest thing to do is to start with the garlic. And because in a food processor, if you don't start with the garlic first, the garlic can not end up getting really cut up into fine pieces like you want it to. I don't think anybody wants to eat pesto where you suddenly get a really bite-sized piece of garlic. And that's a little bit more flavor than a lot of people want, though there are some who really do like garlic. And we'll just start with that. I've never tried to work this thing backwards, but let it spin for a second while I'll get the basil. Well, that's pretty much it. I mean, you just let that go. Like I say, I've never done this backwards. Now, the basil, one thing about the basil, if you buy it in store-bought basil, make sure to take off the leaves from the really thick, stems. You don't want a lot of stems in there. You also don't want the flowers. So what we have here now is just I don't know what this was. Package from Trader Joe's, 4 ounces of basil that'll last you a good week. What is really great about this recipe too, of pesto and just in general, is if you don't finish it, it'll last a good week or so in the refrigerator. But if you don't finish it, you can very easily freeze it, and it's fantastic. We put it in just an ice cube tray, and then you just take the cubes out as you need them. And they're great in a variety of things. You can put them in a soup. You can make pasta and just put them best with angel hair pasta, I find, because it coats the angel hair really well. You can put them in a tomato sauce if you don't have any basil. If you want a little bit more green color, you can mix them with the roasted tomatoes that we have in another demonstration, and they're great that way as well. So simple again. I don't know, I'm doing kind of one ingredient at a time, but there's really no reason except that you kind of visually know what you're doing, but let the basil get all kind of mushed up. Now the olive oil is a key ingredient. The cooks say that the oil and fat really is the transmitter of flavor here. So don't be stingy with the oil, because even if it seems a little liquidy, that's going to be really a great way to coat your pasta and moisten anything that else you do. Because sometimes we put it on. My wife likes to just spread it on bread and then put, instead of mayonnaise, it's a healthier alternative to mayonnaise. So let's, might as well put the salt in now. Don't go overboard with the salt, because it's easier to unsalt. But I find kosher salt or sea salt is really good because it gives that pop. Again. Now we'll just take some cheese. In this case, this is just all these ingredients are just from Trader Joe's. There's nothing really very exotic at all about this. And I'll just put a couple handfuls of cheese in there. Depending again, how much you like cheese. Now, some people say they like pecorino. I'm not really a fan of pecorino, so I always use Parmesan. You can use a combination of Parmesan and pecorino. Some people also say you can use a combination of basil and spinach, but in this case, I just like classic basil. You can also make pestos out of just about any kind of green. You can use dandelion greens, you can use arugula, you can use parsley. It's very versatile. All right. So now, if you look in, this is the problem with the Cuisinart. You don't want to take it off the base. But if you look inside there, you can see now it's starting to look a little bit more like a pesto type thing. I like a little bit more oil, I think. So I'll put that in. From our family's perspective, there can usually never be enough cheese, so I'll put a little bit more cheese in there. That's great. Mix it up a little bit. Good to have a spatula on hand if you don't want to scratch your Cuisinart too much. The knife will work instead. And then the last thing is the nuts. So again, depending on how much you like nuts, a lot of people like nutty flavor. A couple handfuls is probably enough. I don't know if that add up to maybe half a cup. Now this last part takes a little bit longer because you got to make sure they get actually crunched up so they're not like the garlic. You want big crunchy pieces. On the same token, you don't want it to be so pulverized that that you've got a puree. You want it to have a little bit of texture. So I think this is looking pretty good. I think I've got all the ingredients. This is the kind of thing where I sometimes get done and I realize I forgot one or two things. Okay. So, very good. You can see how the consistency of it is, it's smooth, but it's not completely a puree. This is going to have a good collection of nuts and cheese. The cheese will melt when you put it on something hot, obviously. And it's just really a simple thing, and always appreciated. I've used in a variety of ways. So check out some of our other recipes for roasted tomatoes, pulled pork. We just did one on creme brulee in the pressure cooker. I've got a few other things up our sleeve for easy things to make for your family. Definite crowd pleasers that go all the way from really basic to a little bit more gourmet. Again, Paul Baines at GreatDad.com. See you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe.